Thank you, Mitzi. Honorable Minister Mansour, UNESCO Secretary General, Reg Murphy, Dr. Amina Goodwin-Fernandez, resource persons, members of the media, and of course our participants, good morning, and welcome to this, the very first of 3 workshops that will be taking place in partnership with UNESCO for young television producers in the Caribbean. The second will be in St. Martin in October, and in November we'll be in Jamaica. But my task is to provide an overview of our work and the partnership we have with UNESCO that creates the context for the importance of this workshop. The CBMP was established back in 2006 in response to a call by the United Nations Secretary General, then Dr. Kofi Annan, in 2004 with the establishment of the Global Media AIDS Initiative. The initiative aims to leverage the power of the broadcast media to share information about HIV, to help reduce the stigma and discrimination associated with HIV, and ultimately to change behavior. With funding from our founding partners, the Kaiser Family Foundation, the Elton John AIDS Foundation, and the Ford Foundation, 30 top broadcasters from 20 Caribbean countries assembled in Barbados, and at the end of that inaugural summit, they signed the Bridgetown Declaration, and that was to see the establishment and the launch of the CBMP, and subsequently, in December 2007, with the Cricket World Cup, we launched our Live Up campaign. Since our inception, we have grown from that initial number of 30 broadcasters to a pool of 112 leading television and radio stations in 24 countries across the region. Collectively, CBMP broadcasters reach an estimated audience of 40 million Caribbean people. The annual donated airtime by those broadcasters has grown from the initial commitment of 12 minutes a day for HIV content to 45 minutes in some countries by some broadcasters. The original content and that donation is valued very modestly at $10 million annually. No small feat. And our Live Up campaign has expanded and donated resources to reach different audiences, engaging entertainment personnel, media, sports, and I'm sure you've seen our PSAs with our very celebrated Olympic champions right now, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Veronica Campbell-Brown, and Johan Blake. We've used powerful voices like that to influence young audiences, to convey key messages of HIV prevention, and to reduce the stigma and discrimination associated with HIV through these public service announcements as well as our content, which is why you producers are here, because we are hoping that you will be able to build on that foundation. The power of 112 radio and television stations in 24 Caribbean countries, reaching an audience of 40 million, with programming that is designed to improve the social climate of exclusion and discrimination against sexual minorities, marginalized youth, sex workers, and people living with HIV, cannot be overstated. The vital work of the CBMP is urgently needed to help improve the response of civil society, some of whom are here today, as well as government entities that continue to work to make more direct prevention interventions and treatment programs that they provide, as well as to encourage people in need to take advantage of all of these programs by both government and non-governmental organizations without fear of reprisal. Without an overall media effort like the CBMP, a Live Up campaign that is designed to catalyze, encourage, and sustain many of the changes of attitude that we need in the Caribbean within the general society towards populations most affected and most at risk of HIV and AIDS. The work of treatment, care, and service providers in the Caribbean will become far more difficult. A comprehensive approach to HIV in the Caribbean must include well-coordinated media campaigns as well as on-the-ground programs working together. It is within this context that this workshop is important and the partnership with UNESCO is so invaluable. That's why UNESCO's approach to CBMP back in 2009 to establish an interactive web tool as a resource for Caribbean broadcasters was ideal. And I'll share that resource with our participants later this morning as we navigate it on our website. Meanwhile, the objective of this project also resonates well with our core values and activities at the CBMP. It is also timely as we struggle to find more financial resources for sustainability and counter the AIDS fatigue that is so evident in the malaise to many AIDS programs across the region. UNESCO's goal is to develop the capacity of 30 young television producers in the making of high-quality television programs and to enable their ability to be part of an international network of TV professionals engaged in HIV prevention and increase the number of credible programs for license-free exchange worldwide. It is an invaluable opportunity for all of you as young producers. All of you, and from the 3 workshops from 16 countries in the Caribbean, will ultimately be producing programs on priority issues in HIV prevention, including multiple concurrent partnerships, which is so prevalent across the Caribbean, low levels or inconsistent levels of condom use, gender-based violence, masculinities, and homophobia. The CBMP-wide network of broadcasters will, of course, also share these programs rights-free to our broadcast members, and we expect them to be produced in the first quarter of 2013. It is an exciting opportunity for developing a cadre of quality HIV programming with the eyes and the minds of a new generation of TV producers for the future. The CBMP would like to thank UNESCO for its vision in this exercise, to the government of Antigua for their support and participation in hosting this, the first of 3 workshops. On Friday night, as your gracious Commissioner of National Parks, Anne-Marie Martin, hosts us all for a seafood festival, I'm optimistic that you will see these 10 young television producers who have been provided with much food for thought in the next 48 hours, more than ready to enjoy the delights that you have to offer at the Nelson Dockyard, and indeed here in Antigua. I, of course, will be checking for the television programs, and I hope you will too in 2013. Thank you very much for your participation. We look forward to a successful 2 days.